So you got insurance, overhead, and profit. Every company pays insurance, workman's comp, liability. People charge 3%, 4%, but really it's up to 6% right now. Because insurance is high. There's what they call labor law, and basically when one person gets sued, everybody gets sued. So it's very difficult. So insurance, you really should figure out 6% of the job. Then you got overhead, which is the company's overhead, the clerical, everyone in the office, the monthly expenses. You figure out what that costs. That should run around, depending on the job size, you should figure out about 6%. So usually we'll do 6% on the total, and then profit will put another 6% on top of that.
If they're all 6%,
some are 7 because we vary these numbers. Sometimes insurance is, depending on the size of the job, we'll lower that number a little bit.
And contingency wise?
Well, a lot of times contingency, there's unknowns that we don't know, but we want to figure a number in for the owner. So in case they have an extra or something, that we can say, hey, contingency is $100,000. We have set aside for the job. If you don't use it, you get it back. But the thing is, this job's all turnkey, which means we're going to give one price for the entire job, and that's the price. Unless they ask for something totally different.
It's not bad.
Well, it's safe for the owner. It's dangerous for the contractor. But we've built 180 dealerships plus. So, we know 100% what they cost.
And who do these things go to, proposals?
The owner reviews it. We have a conversation with it in front. A lot of times, they're deep into Brooklyn. To go to Brooklyn, we'll waste an entire day driving there, having a 20-minute meeting, and then driving back. So now we use Zoom. So that's a great thing. And we just Zoomed the phone call, and within 15 minutes, we signed up 4 jobs.
These jobs?
Yeah, these jobs.
Did you have to go over every single number and everything?
No, they know the numbers, and so do I.
What's the difference between a GC,
General contractor,
yeah,
and a project manager.
you have people who own the land, you have people who own the dealership, you have people who make the dealership, you have people who put up the money.
You got property owners, you got developers, you got contractors, you got general contractors. So all these different people have different roles. So a developer will develop a project for a landowner, or be the landowner and the project developer. General contractor is a company that will build from the ground up the entire thing, show the customer full line items for each specific discipline that needs to be done. They're entitled to make overhead profit insurance on top of that and charge the customer.
So this Genesis goes with this Genesis?
Yeah, because when you build a showroom, you have to also build a service to service the cars. If someone sells you a car,
Service is where it's like the underneath-ish?
yeah, well, the service is where you fix the car when it breaks. Some people take the mechanics, but nowadays with these high-end cars, they're very specific to specific parts. There's specific computers that diagnose if there's an issue or problem with it. So this is one aspect of what I do. Let me tell you a little bit about my day. And today's only Monday, it's crazy, but started at 5 o'clock. I wrote my goals down, and then I started going right into proposals. I wrote like 6, 7 proposals, sent them out to customers so they can wake up and have them in front of them and they can analyze them. Then from there, I went to getting some calls done as far as needing sign-offs on a job. We're finishing 3 jobs this week, one being the yeshiva. All the paperwork's going in. So we had to get all that last minute stuff being taken care of. We're also working at Mercedes, and there was a couple of questions regarding that. I had to talk to engineers, architects. I talked to one mayor who needed some information to go to the board today. So Tara's delivering poster boards for them. Then I went we finished up the scope of work for 4 jobs and the line items. We just received approval to proceed. And what the customer said was, in order for me to start the second job, we need to finish the first job because for logistic reasons, they have 2 showrooms. So before they can start the second job, they have to move one of those dealerships into the new building so they can move the other dealership into the temporary building. So, you gotta go with what the customer needs. They still gotta be in business to sell cars while we do construction. So basically they're telling us to have this one building done. It's August, so we'll have a permit in September, October, November. So they're gonna give us maybe 3.5 months to finish the dealership, but it's only a showroom and we can do that without a doubt. Put 60 guys on the job and knock it out. So we'll finish that in November, probably by Thanksgiving, get them into their first dealership and then move the second one out. And the second one's a little bit difficult because it requires ripping off the entire front facade. The facade is the front of the building because they require glass to go from the ground all the way up. So we do that, and then once you do that, we get into rebuilding their services.
60 guys. How do you figure for that? Like,
Well, it depends on the size of the building. It depends on how quickly the job needs to go. So there's going to be different trades. There can be 10 different trades on the job, 6 guys per trade. That's per crew, and that's 60 guys. And we push it. We're probably going to put this to a 6-day-a-week job, and we'll get it done. We'll knock it out. You just got to push the manpower and push the paperwork. That's the hardest part.